Hello everyone, I'm Muhammad Kamal bin Ayub and I'm going to share with you how to answer Paper 1 SPM. So as we all know, Paper 1 deals with reading comprehension. So we do not only need to read, but we need to read by using the right strategies. So I will share the strategies and also the skills that we need to answer the question fast and accurately. So I believe everyone is now familiar with all the components in our Paper 1. So we have 5 parts: short text, rational clause, longer text, gap text, and also info transfer. So we need to answer them all. So as Paper 1 cover reading skills, so the core skills that we need are skimming and scanning, okay, to effectively answer the question. So skimming is basically reading quickly to get the meaning or the main idea, and scanning is when we are looking for specific details such as dates, time, or any words in the text. And of course, to help us to answer correctly, we also need skills such as recognizing paraphrase. We need to understand vocabulary, we need to be able to do inference, and able to do analysis in terms of cohesion and cohering. Okay, now we are going to go through each part. The example used in this session are taken from 2024 Kedah trial paper. I will provide the example and show you the clues that we can get from the text and sample answers. And then we will try to do one question together. Okay, for part 1. Part 1 is the multiple choice question based on short text. So we will have 8 questions. So the main skills that we need is scanning. So we need to be able to scan for specific informations. Also, we need to be able to recognize paraphrase. This means while there are words while we have similar words, boleh start balik yang part 1 ni. Okay. Okay, now let's look at part 1. So part 1 gives us 8 multi-choice question based on short text like notice, advertisement, and messages. Okay, so our main skills that we need to use here is scanning for specific information such as looking for specific words, numbers, or dates. Also, we need to practice recognizing paraphrase. This is because the question might not use the exact similar word as the text, so we need to look for words that have the same meanings. So the tips here is to read the whole question first and then scan the text for the keywords. Of course, we also need to eliminate the distractors. Okay, now let's look at a sample question for part 1. So this is question number 3 from last year question. So what is the main purpose of the advertisement? The answer choices are given 3 there. So let's look at the answer choices. So the first one is to promote item. Sorry, let's read the first question first. The question first. What is the main purpose of the advertisement? So the answers given are to promote item at Horizon Go, to attract customer to spend more at Horizon Go, and to educate customer on how to shop at Horizon Go. So we have to read the text given. So if we look at the text, students, I have highlighted for you the keywords that reflects the keywords in the answer scheme. So for example, okay, let's look at the first answer choice, to promote items at Horizon Go. So if we look back at the text, there is no item being promoted in the advertisement. If we look at the second answer choice, the keyword is to attract customers to spend more at Horizon Go, but then there is no evidence of text that shows they want to attract customers to spend more at Horizon Go. However, in the text, there is a lot of example or evidence that The main purpose is to educate customers on how to shop at Horizon Go. So for example, the keyword in the advertisement, as we can see, such as open the Horizon Go app, your virtual card will be filled up, our technology will update you with virtual card automatically, and when you leave, just walk out, technology will add up your virtual cards and charge your Horizon account. So those shows that this advertisement meant to educate the customer, to teach the customer how to use the apps. Now let's go to the next question. Okay, this is question number 7. Now please take a look at this question. Okay, the question is, which of the following is true about the notice? So choice number A is given. It is compulsory for teachers to wear t-shirt to school. The second answer given, drinking water will be prepared by the school for all students. And the last answer choice given, student may participate in outdoor sports depending on the heat level. Now, please take a look at the notice, at the text. Okay. Is there any keywords that reflects the answers given? Okay, now let's look at the keywords. So I have highlighted them for you. Okay, so which one is of the following is true about the notice? Okay, so for answer A, it is compulsory for teachers to wear t-shirts. So the keyword there is compulsory. Okay, this reflect point number 2 in the notice. So allow teachers and students to wear t-shirts instead of standard uniform. But the word usage here is allow. Okay, so does allow have the same meaning as compulsory? For answer choice number B, the keyword is drinking water and for all students. Okay, so it reflects in point number 4, provide drinking water for all students staying in the hostel. So does it reflect, does it have the same meaning with the keywords in B, all students and student in the hostel? Does it reflect the same thing? And then the third answer choice given, student may participate in outdoor sports depending on the heat level. So the keyword here is depending. Let's look at point 1. Cancel all outdoor activities in the event of extreme temperatures. So does the phrase in the event of extreme temperatures means to cancel everything? Okay. So the correct answer will be C. Okay. Because the word depending and in the event basically reflect the same meaning. So it depends on the heat level, they can participate with the outdoor sports. And in point number 1 given, cancel all outdoor activities in the event of extreme temperatures. It shows that if there is an event of extreme temperatures, the outdoor activity must be cancelled. But if not, they can be done. So that's why answer C is the correct answer. Okay, now let's look at part 2. Okay, so part 2 is the rational clues question. So we will be given a long text with 10 blanks which we'll need to fill with the answers given. So first, what we need to do is we need to skim for the meanings. We need to read the sentences, we need to read the whole text and answer the meaning that the text is going to tell us. And of course, we need to understand the vocabulary. Okay, so in the answer choices given, we will be tested on vocabulary, meaning we need to be able to understand the meanings. Okay, now let's look at the sample question. Again, this question is taken from last year trial paper. Okay, we are going to look only at question 11. I'm going to show the example for question 11. Okay, now let's look at the question. Although fireworks bring about fun and excitement, they also give blanks to several public concerns. One of the primary dangers is the potential for accidents and injuries. Okay, so the answers choices given are up, rise, raise, and boost. Okay, let's look at why the answer choices are wrong and why one of the answer is correct. Okay, let's look at answer choice 8, give. Up. Okay, so when give is paired with up, it's a phrasal verb, right? So it has different meaning. So give up means to stop doing something, especially a habit. So this does not fit this sentence because we are not talking about stopping something. Okay, for B, that is the correct answer because give rise to shows to cause something to happen. Okay, it shows cause. So this fits the sentence as the firework can cause public concern. And for C, it's not correct because give raise to is not correct in English. We can say give a raise when talking about salary, but we don't say we give a raise to. Sorry, we don't say we give raise to for this type of sentence. Okay. And of course for D, give a boost to means to help something to grow or improve. Again, this does not fit with the meaning of the sentence as it does not talk about growing concern, it talks about causing concern. Now let's look at the next question. I'm going to look at question number 12. Okay, I'm going to read it for you. The incorrect and careless blanks for fireworks, whether by youth or inexperienced adults, can lead to severe burns, eyes injuries, and even permanent disabilities. So the answer choices given are doing, having, handling, and controlling. Okay, so we have to really understand what those words mean. I'm going to help you. Let's look at the definition for each words given. Okay, so doing means performing an action. Having means possessing or owning something. Handling means touching or using or operating something. And controlling means directing or regulating something. So when we look back at the sentence, the incorrect and careless of fireworks, whether by youth or inexperienced adults, can lead to severe burns, eye injuries, and even permanent disabilities. Are we talking about performing an action? Are we talking about possessing or owning something? Are we talking about operating something? Or are we talking about directing or regulating something? So, in this sentence, we are talking about handling something, okay, operating something. How the people, the youth or unexperienced adult handle or operate fireworks. So that's why C will be the correct answer. Okay, for A, B, and D, they are not correct because they does not mean operating the fireworks. Now let's look at part 3. So part 3 is a longer text comprehension questions. So here we will be given a long text that we need to read and 8 questions for us to answer. And of course, the main skill that we need are both skimming and scanning. We need to be able to skim for the main ideas, and we need to be able to scan for details based on the question. So tips here, we need to look for the clues and eliminate the distractors. Bear in mind, some answer might sound correct, but they are not. So we really need to look for the clues and eliminate the distractors. Now let's look at this question. So I have taken apart from the text. Okay, so the text in the real exam will be longer than this. Okay, so the question, number 23 question. So what does the word "it" in "but I knew I must not let it defeat me" refers to? So answer choices given are A, heat, B, his sweat, C, the business, and D, another hawker. Now if we look from the text, okay, the long text, we can see the sentence is being highlighted for us. So if you can see here, this is the sentence, but I knew I mustn't let it defeats me. Okay, so what we can do is we need to look at the sentences before and after the text, the sentence. Okay, here the word "it" itself is a pronoun, so we need to look back a few sentences before this sentence to know what it refers to. Okay, now let's look at the clues that we can get. Okay, so what does the word "it" what does the word "it" in "but I knew I mustn't let it defeats me"? Okay, so as we know, the word "it" is in this sentence, but I knew I mustn't let it defeats me. So before this sentence, we can see three things being mentioned: sweat, the heat, and hawker. Okay, so the correct answer will be the heat. Okay, because when we look at the sentence, okay, there were days when the heat was so intense that I thought about giving up. Okay, and then we will see the next sentence, but I knew I mustn't let it defeat me. So what is it? It refers to the heat, because the keyword here, giving up, just now. Okay, so Fahim here don't want to give up just because of the heat. However, the other answer choices, his sweat, the business, another hawker, are incorrect because they does not reflect it. Of course, Fahim, if we replace it, but I knew I mustn't let my sweat defeat me, it's gonna sound very wrong. It's going to sound very wrong. So basically, we need to look at the meanings and the clues. Okay, now let's look at these questions for question 24. So in paragraph 6, why do you think more customers go to Fahim stalls? Because answer choices given are A, he is a good investor, B, he does more promotions, C, he sells his signature fried rice, and D, he is innovative and considerate. So take a while to look at this paragraph and try to figure out what are the keywords that can help you to identify the answers. Okay, now let's look at the things that I highlighted here. Okay, so again, in the question, why do you think more customers go to Fahim store? So we need to identify the reason why Fahim has more customers. Okay, is it because he is a good investor, or is it because he does more promotion? Is it because he sells his signature fried rice, or is it because he is innovative and considerate? So if, as you can see, we can see that I have highlighted for you few sentences, few phrases. Okay, sample his new character. Sorry, let's read the sentence there. One word spread, his store started drawing crowds to sample his new creation. So the keywords there, creation. Okay, the next one. While his signature fried rice still holds a special place in the heart of loyal customer, his customer now prefer his coconut lime shake and sour plum jelly. Okay, showing that they like the new product. Okay, they said that the menu is not only one of a kind but also offers a better cooling effects. So this shows that he is able to innovate. And also, moreover, he also invested in a canopy to provide shade for his customers and install fans. So this shows that he is very considerate to his customer. So that's why the correct answer will be D. Okay, he is innovative and considerate because the customer there go to his store because of his new menus and because he is able to provide shade and install fans for them while they are waiting to get the products. Okay everyone, let's look at part 4. So in part 4, we will be given a text with 6 missing sentences. However, the answer choices given will have 2 extra sentences that we don't need. So, the skills of course that we need in order to answer this type of question, we need to be able to skim for the flows. We need to be able to scan for details, making sure the sentences that we choose to fill the blanks are related to the text before and after the blanks. And we need to be able to analyze the cohesion and coherence, making sure that the sentence that we choose are logically sequenced in the text. Okay. And here are some tips that we can do when doing this part of question. Okay. So in answering this question, what we can do first is we have to read the answer choices first so that we won't be confused. Okay. Read the answer choices first, and then after that we only then we read the text. Okay. And then when reading the text, read the first or the second sentences, the first or second sentences before and after the blanks. This can ensure that the text, or sorry, the sentences that we choose correctly fills the blank. And if, let's say, we are confused, we have 2 answer choices that we think might fit in the blanks, just write both of them first, and then by the end of answering this part, I believe we will be able to identify which one is the best answer. Okay, now let's look at the example. So here is the example of the answer choices given. As I mentioned before, there will be 2 extra choices given that are incorrect. So, for question 21, so this is the text, this is the paragraph, okay. When I arrived at Central Juvenile Hall, I was expecting guards and watchtowers, basically the setting of a cold and unfriendly place. I was told to wait in a small lobby room which separated the prison from the outside world. While waiting, I saw a few inmates getting on a bus. They wore handcuffs and carried brown bags behind their back. I look at them trying to guess their crimes. Okay. Now I have narrowed down the answer choices into 3 so that it will be easier for us to discuss. So answer choice B is when I saw 2 of them first, they seemed calm and laid back. C, I began to think about some of the common offences that could have got them arrested. And D, prison for many out of control teens is stopping them from going further with criminal and violent life. Now let's look at the keywords that we can find from the answer choices and also the text. Okay, now, so let's look at the sentence before the blank. I look at them trying to guess their crime. Trying to guess their crime. So this writer wanted to know what are their crimes. So here, the best answer will be C, because I began to think about some of the common offences that could have got them arrested. So it related to trying to guess their crime. So the writer began to think about the common offences which make these people prisoners. Okay. For answer B and D, they are not the suitable answer for question 27 because they does not fit in question 27 paragraph. Because let's see, in B, I saw two of them first. They seem calm and laid back. So it does not reflect, the sentence before it does not reflect that this writer were looking at the inmates. And then the sentence before also did not talk about why prison is there. The sentence before talks about the writer trying to guess the crimes of these inmates. Okay, now let's look at question 28. Okay, inside the juvenile hall, Mr. Xavier Strouning, a warden at the prison, came to accompany me during the interview. I started getting nervous to think if my interview session with 4 of the juvenile criminals would go well. We sat down on a bench in a small room. He told me that high-risk offender wore orange jumpsuit. He reminded me not to ask any sensitive question regarding the past. Okay. Again, I narrowed down the answer choices into 3. A, using their full names or taking pictures of their faces was also prohibited as they were underage. B, when I saw 2 of them first, they seemed calm and laid back. C, I began to think about some of the common offences that could have got them arrested. Okay, so please find the keywords from the text and make sure it is related with the answer choices that we want to choose. Okay. So, in this paragraph, okay, it talks about interview session with 4 juvenile, and then there's another one, the sentence before the blanks. He reminds us not to ask any sensitive questions. So it talks about the interview session. So that's why, okay, if we see A, using their full names or taking picture of their faces was also prohibited as they were underage, might be the answer for question 28 because it's related to the activity that can be done during an interview, taking pictures and asking their full name. Okay. However, let's look at B. They seem calm and laid back. Okay, the sentence before does not say anything about the juvenile criminals yet. And then for answer C, that one we have already used it for question number 27. Okay, so of course the correct answer will be answer choice A. Okay, so again I repeat, using their full names, taking pictures of their face, this relates to the interview session, relates to not asking sensitive question during the interview. Okay, now let's look at the last part, which is part 5. So for part 5, we will be given few texts, okay, and we need to skim to confirm the meaning, to confirm the idea in the text, to scan for the keywords, and of course to understand the vocabulary. We need to find out whether there are words that we can use later in order to answer the question in part 5. Okay, so in part 5, so of course we need to read the text first and then read the question, and be careful for the 4 last question. We need to provide 1 word response. Please read the instruction carefully. Make sure if the instruction says only 1 word respond, then write 1 word respond. If the answer says, if the instruction says otherwise, for example 2 words respond or a phrase, then you can use more than 1 word. However, for now we can see that most of the questions are asking for 1 word responses. Okay, now let's look at the sample of part 5. So as you can see, so few texts will be given to you. They can be reviews, they can be opinion from different people or different things. Okay, and then there will be 4 questions which you need to match the statement with the paragraph, with the text. And then the last 4 questions is for you to fill in the blanks using the words from the text. This is when identifying the meaning or knowing the vocabulary or the words in the text would be helpful for you in order to identify the answers. Okay, let's look at this question. So I narrow it down. Okay, so the statement given. Okay, there's a movie based on this extremely famous expressway. So the keywords there is famous expressway. So we need to identify which text or which paragraph talks about a famous expressway. And we can see that the famous expressway is being mentioned in paragraph C. Okay, for example, here the word highway. Remember when I said that we need to understand the words, it doesn't mean the words are similar. It can have same meaning but different word. For example, expressway and highway, they have same meaning. Okay, and then the next clue there is the Perak Highway hauntings are so widely known, have the same meaning as famous. Okay, that a horror movie titled Perak the Devil Road was produced in 2011. So basically the answer is paragraph C. Okay, now let's try with another question. Question number 34. Okay, so the keywords in the question, in the statement in that question, it is not recommended to remain in the area after dusk. So those 2 highlighted phrases are the keywords that we need to find from the text. So again, I narrowed down the text into 3 texts and try to find the keywords from those texts. Okay, so these 2 keywords have similar words in text paragraph F. Okay, let's look at paragraph F. Okay, they believe they are the sounds of his evil spirit. My blood ran cold from hearing the stories, so I followed their advice not to stay within the area past sundown. So follow their advice not to stay. Advice not to stay. So that is similar to not recommended. And after dusk is have similar meaning to past sundown. So the correct answer for this question will be paragraph F. Okay, now let's look at the second part in part 5. Okay, now let's move on to part 5. So in part 5, we will be given few short text or short paragraph which we need to skim to confirm the meanings. We need to scan for the keywords and we need to know some of the words meaning. Okay, tips. We need to read the text first and then read the question. And for the second part of this part 5, there will be a subjective question whereby we need to write down the word that we have taken from the text to fill in the blanks. Sometimes the question asks you to only provide one word response, so please do that. So remember to read the instruction too while doing this part. Okay, let's look at the example of the question in part 5. Again, like I told you, so in part 5 there will be few short paragraph given to you. Okay, so 4 questions in part 5 will be matching the paragraph with the statement given, and the last 4 questions will be for you to take the words from the text into to fill in the blanks given in the text. Okay, just like I said just now, okay, be careful, read the instruction given. If the instruction says choose no more than one word, So please write no more than one word in the blanks. Okay. Let's look at this question, question number 33. So I narrowed down the question, the paragraphs. Okay, so in question 33, there is a movie based on this extremely famous expressway. So the keywords there is famous expressway. So we need to find out the words that have similar meanings to this phrase. Okay. Okay, so based on the text given, so we can see that in paragraph C has those words that have similar meaning as the keywords. For example, expressway we have highway, and famous we have widely known. So these two keywords help us to identify the answer for this question. Okay. Now let's look at another question. Okay, so question 34. So it is not recommended to remain in the area after dusk. So the highlighted words or phrases there are not recommended and after dusk. So we need to find out words or phrases that have the same meaning as these two. Okay, so please take a look at the paragraph on the screens. So as we can see, in paragraph F actually have the words or phrases that have the same meaning. Okay, let's look at the sentence here. My blood ran cold from hearing the stories, so I followed their advice not to stay within the area past sundown. So their advice not to stay. So advice not to stay. So it has the same meaning as not recommended, and past sundown have similar meaning as after dusk. So that's why for 34 the answer will be F. Okay, now let's move on to the second part of part 5, whereby we need to fill in the blanks with the words from the text. Okay, so the text given here, local mystery often starts as rumor that spread quickly in a community. Some people are not easily convinced and demand proof before them, while others are fascinated and find the stories interesting. So what we can do here is we can guess the meaning. For example, let's say here some people are not really convinced and demand proof before they can trust it. So here in text F we can find the word belief. So belief and trust have almost the same meaning. So we take this word to fill in question 37. So that will be the correct answer for question 37, belief. Okay, now let's look at question 38. So the question, this mystery can spark horror and give people something, especially when they involve in incidents that can't be explained. So we need to find a words that got to do with a feeling of horror when they involve with an unexplained incidents. So I narrowed down to paragraph E. Can you try and find which one is the word or phrase that is suitable to be filled in for question number 38? So remember, try to find words that have similar meaning as something horrific. What would people feel when they feel horrified or scared? Of course, I believe everyone must have gotten the answer. So the answer is goosebump, the feeling of shivers that we get when we experience something that can't be explained, especially horror situation. Okay, so student, so that's all for my part. Okay, I hope all the best for all of you. Okay, remember, when doing paper 1, don't forget to read with the strategies. Use all the skills that you have, skim and scan for the details and meanings, and make sure all the answers are correct. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.